My name is Patrick Hermanson. I'm a researcher at Hope Not Hate, and I'm in the stream.
The United Nations estimates that 600 million young people, that's half of the world's youth population, live in areas affected by conflict.
But despite the challenges of growing up in turmoil, many young people are striving to make a difference. In fact, a group of young peace builders from around the world have converged on the Dalai Lama's compound in India to learn from each other and the spiritual leader himself. The event, organized by the United States Institute of Peace, seeks to give them the practical skills and the personal resilience needed to work in their home countries.
So how do you build peace in times of conflict? Joining us to talk about this, we have the Dalai Lama and two youth leaders participating in the US Institute of Peace event, Aloel Manyok from South Sudan and Paula Porras from Colombia. Welcome, everybody. Dalai Lama, it is such a pleasure to have you on the stream. I have been looking at a picture of you as a very young boy. You were about 4 years old in a monastery in eastern Tibet. As a child, as a youngster, what was the most valuable lesson you learned about building peace?
I was a very, very lazy student. Now, gradually, I realized these things which I studied is really immense help to keep my mind fresh, sharp. Because we study how to analyze things. They say at the beginning we should keep more skepticism, not just believe easily, then analyze.
Paula and Aloel, I was just looking at your group from a picture that you took a day ago. And there you are, surrounded by the Dalai Lama, and everybody is smiling, and he is mentoring you. What is he like as a mentor?
What is it like as a mentor? It was quite an experience for me yesterday. I felt like I wasn't only spiritually empowered, but there's just something about the energy in this room that really, really gave me the peace of mind that I needed. And when I asked my question, at least I had the chance to ask His Holiness my question yesterday, and he really answered me in details. And I've just been going through that response in my head, and I feel like all the solutions I needed are in that package you gave me yesterday. And it's just up to me to bring it or to decide the stages I need to unlock the answer he gave me yesterday. So it was really a good start for me personally yesterday. And I'm looking forward to today's conversation. I think it's even going to be more than what we had yesterday.
Yeah, and for me, first of all, it's really funny. So it makes it like really easy. And when you talk about the Dalai Lama, he's just you visualize him like here. And when you talk actually with him, you see him as a person. He makes it so easy and so practical. Like it's not when he speaks, it's not like you think that peace is not achievable, that you can actually do it. And all of the things, even if he spoke also like from all religions, ethnicities, ways of thinking, not only for their belief, his belief. So I think that's an amazing thing for having him as a mentor.
So we got this comment here from Bree on Twitter, and she wants to know what the U.S. can learn from youth peace leaders and peacemakers around the globe, especially as our country, she says, speaking of the U.S., becomes more divided and mass violence increases. She's directing this to the Dalai Lama. What do you make of what the U.S. and young leaders here can learn from those who are in that room with you and from your own background?
As far as my impression is, sometimes leaders they consider they live a different level of sort of world. The real, I think, representative of human being, I think these in represent people, and particularly people who come from really difficult area. So they really believe peace, harmony is very important. So therefore, I hope the leaders, including spiritual leaders, I think worthwhile to listen more from these young people whose life really passing through difficult sort of experience. So that's my feeling. So these young people, youth, who passing through immense difficulties, including danger of their own life, but still keep hope, optimism, determination. That's really wonderful. So there is real opportunity if we keep that sort of self-confidence and willpower with human intelligence and human warm-heartedness. We can change our world, more better world, more compassionate world. That's my conviction. So therefore, in spite old person, now physically sometimes difficult, but I determined, to serve these young people. These are future of the humanity, future of the world.
And you teased us just a little bit about the Dalai Lama told you something that actually you're still percolating in your mind right now. This is the moment when you ask the question right here on the laptop. I'm just going to look one more here where you asked him about your passion, what you're working on in South Sudan. What was it that the Dalai Lama told you that will help you be a better peacemaker, peace builder?
My question was on education and women empowerment, and his response was, we might not see the impact of what we're doing now, but if we invest in education and patience, all these obstacles will be eradicated with time. So when he gave me that package of invest in education and women must take lead in peace building and then patience, it just completely made sense, because you cannot educate someone today and they graduate tomorrow and they're able to give back to the community. It's a process. And I just felt like maybe this is an initial start and it's a long-term impact, but it's going to be for a better good tomorrow.
Well, one way to make it a better good is referenced here in this tweet from Jim, and he says it might be involving women. So Jim says, comment on the place of women in the peace landscape. Are they a latent resource in this realm? And Paula, I'm going to give that one to you. Do you ever feel that you have to prove yourself when you're in these discussions and you're in these rooms and these spaces as a female leader and a youth leader at that? Do you feel that you have to go a step further than other people have to?
Yeah, I think I felt like that when, for example, if you are in a conference room with someone and you're speaking, you're with a man, like they always look to the man. They don't look at the woman, and you start feeling like, why you start questioning yourself, like why doesn't they look at me? I mean, I'm here at the room, and even if you speak, they just don't hear you, and yeah, that happens to me many times. But I think it's like we have the power to change that. Actually, we have to empower ourselves and speak more, like not loudly, like more powerful maybe, so they can hear us. So yeah, there's been this culture of misogynist culture. I think it's all around the world, but also it's spread in Latin America, in Colombia, in my country. And it's really hard sometimes to get to believe you. But with your actions, you get it's take more steps, but you actually get it.
Your Holiness, I have a theory that part of your power, part of your spirituality is in your hand. Let me tell you why I have that theory. Because when I watch you sit and talk, with people, you always reach out and touch them. So this is you yesterday with the group, talking to them. And again, touching the face, touching the cheek. And then this picture, back in 2015, it is with Archbishop Desmond Tutu. You're talking about joy. And again, that right hand, that arm, reaching out and touch. Why is that so important to what you do, how you connect with people?
Firstly, I think the best way to communicate or showing your real feeling is smile. In order to do that, formality, I don't like formality. At all. When we born, no formality. When we die, no formality. Formality is artificial. It actually becomes some